Hi.
So, some of you know, I'm a magician. I do magic. So I like to watch magicians do performances and magic stuff. And one of the things I hate the most about a lot of magic performances is when the magician tries to tug at your heartstrings by telling some really sappy story about his childhood using cheap theatrics or playing some really sappy music that's supposed to make you weep with joy. I promise you, I would never stoop that low. And that reminds me of a story. When I was 5, I asked my father a very serious question. Where do the stars come from? He smiled, handed me a beer, and said, "Sit down, son. I think it's time we had a talk." So I did. He said there are some that claim that stars begin as whirling clouds of dust and gas in the interstellar medium caused usually by gravitational instability, which in turn causes something called fusion, which creates plasma in a hydrostatic equilibrium. But he told me he knew for a fact that that was all bullshit, and that the real answer had more to do with origami. He pulled out a piece of paper and he began folding it. He said, "Son, once there were no stars in the sky. It was black and empty, just like your life will be one day." And he kept folding. He said that the magic began with something we see every day. The moon. But it wasn't the moon. It was when the moon reflected off the ocean's waves, it created these tiny little stars. Then my father pulled out a Chinese fan. And I remember thinking how weird that was, the origami and the Chinese fan. It wasn't until then that I learned my father had spent the better part of his 30s traveling in a Chinese circus as a geisha clown. But he told me to believe in magic. He told me that one day there was a wind swept up into the air by mystical, frolicking unicorns. And that wind took every little reflection of the moon, every little star, and world. I didn't believe him, but then he showed me.
I love you!
I'll never forget what he said to me next. He looked me square in the eye and he said, "Son, now get a broom and clean all this shit up." Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. Noah Troop, everybody.